57. If that chord that we just played is an E flat major chord, without having any notes on the piano, what is the first pitch that the choir sings of bar 57? What's the letter name of that note?
B flat.
That's correct, B flat. What kind of note is that B flat? I beg pardon? Whole note. How many beats does a whole note get? Four times certainly does. What's the dynamic? You're going to sing it altos. Altos. Fortissimo, double F, fortissimo. What language is this music in? Tenors? English, absolutely. So, and are you mostly going to look at today? See, if you ever get lost, the basses have some awesome hair. Mr. French has a dearth of hair. And so if you ever get lost, just look in the lights and you'll be blinded, but you'll be able to see me. So if our pitches again were pom, 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 and that was an E flat major chord, what's the first pitch? What's the B flat going to be sound like? Sing it for me. Lovely. And who sang that pitch in our chord? The tenors did. Oh, here we go. 4 bars before. We're going to start. This is DeMarco's going to start in bar 56. 2, 3, 4. What's the challenge for you in this last page?
What's the challenge, basses?
Beg pardon? It's high. So you have 2 options. You can either squeeze and go, or you can sing in your head voice. And even though it's marked fortissimo, if it's too high for you, just sing in your head voice. In the course of your life, you haven't been tenors and basses that long. You just have. Your voices are young. And so, just if it doesn't feel comfortable, just use your head voice, okay? Our other challenge is if you sing this hymn at church, the rhythm's a little bit different, isn't it? So you really got to do 2 things. You've got to concentrate and focus on your part, and you've got to watch me. So here we go again, please. Altos and basses, last 5 bars, last 4 bars. And our eternal home, the word "and" is a whole note. Here we go, altos and basses, please, looking up. Here's our pitch. And Mrs. Mark is going to play part with us. 3, 4. Altos and basses divide here. Okay, altos and basses divide here. Okay, no laughing, just singing. 3, ah. Secondly, I'm making a gesture, and then you're singing your beat. Then I make a gesture, and then you sing beat. Be right with me. Let's have time just between the sopranos and tenors, so we can do this better. Sopranos, altos, and basses. Come on, you can do this. 3, ah. Sopranos and tenors. 2, 3, ah. Modify that. What are you going to sing? And ari ta. You're going to sing ta. Just open it up, okay? And our eternal home, both parts together. Questions? If you have questions, just raise your hand. Otherwise, let's not discuss. Let's be efficient with our time. Good. 3. There are some very good things about that. The thing about, for me, the more interesting note on eternal is the lower notes. It's the alto and bass note. So what we want to make sure is we have enough sound for the altos and basses. So sopranos and tenors, that F is just going to soar. It's going to go forever. So you don't need a lot of power in that, okay? It's just, you just keep your throat nice and open and keep that vowel nice and tall. It's the alto, so don't sing quite so loud. The alto and bass note needs to be just a little bit more. This is the easy part, okay? Our shelter from the snoring glass, measure 66, ah. Nice and tall, ah. Here we go. 3, 4. We wouldn't all take a breath before home, okay? Good. Did anybody bring an extra binder of music? Did any director bring an extra binder of music? Okay. We're going to look at right from the beginning, friends. Okay, right from the beginning.
Is there something you need, Mr. Frank?
I need an extra set of music. Somebody's sharing it. It's just not efficient.
Yeah, I have some.
No, we've got extra binder.
Do you need a binder or the music?
I just need, this gentleman here, I need you to have a set of music so you can look off your own music. That'd be great. Okay, so friends, right from the top, please. Who starts here? Sopranos and altos. And what's the dynamic, please?
Piano.
Piano. And speak that text for me. Ladies, 1, 2. Oh, excuse me. It's piano and I'm conducting. So this is not either. Oh, look right here. So. I'm gonna have to get the baton out if you're not gonna follow me. Here we go. Come on, you can follow me. You're high school singers. You can follow me. Oh, how amiable are thy dwellings, thou Lord. Look. Sing for me, hosts. Hosts. Sing for me. Hosts. Hosts. Okay. And amiable are. Say that for me. Amiable are. There we go. Here we go. This is E flat, please. Oh, how amiable are. Here we go. 1, 2. Piano, it's very delicate. Would you just sing it on ooh? Sing the piano, sing it on ooh. 1, 2. No breath here. Now that's piano. Because we come before God singing this beautiful paraphrase of Psalm 84, and we do it with humility. It's not like, I'm here, God, let me sing for you. It's, I'm offering my praise to God. Here we go, right in the downbeat of bar 5. Secondly, to make this work, Gentlemen, you need to move all of your dynamics up one. Okay, so where it says piano, that was very nice, and you came in at piano. To make this balance with the women, you've got to have just a little bit more. So here we go. Enter into the chorus. That triplet there doesn't really work because you're just kind of making it all sound like oatmeal. You really want to get that into your teeth. Enter into the chorus. My soul, 2, 3. What should you do musically? Because you should do what? I'm hearing crescendo and I'm hearing hold. I love hold, but somebody else is coming to this party, and it's the men. So you want to get out of the way. So you don't want to hold that. Lord, you want to go. Get out of the way so that the men can come in. Okay. Good. Yea, the sparrow. Measure 18, please. We've got a little key change here. Here's right on measure 18 with the accompaniment. 3, 4. Once again, so can you hold your music so you can actually see me, not just down here, because then you're looking down and you're singing down. If you hold your music up so you can see me and your music at the same time, we'll have a far better chance of communicating. Up until this point, every note has been sung at one dynamic, and that is piano, soft. You have a crescendo in 2 beats that takes you from piano to forte. It's a pretty rapid crescendo. But don't give away the surprise. Don't start to make a crescendo on the word young. Okay? Keep it soft. Good. Now, if you're in Britain, an ounce is what you would say. But we're not singing British English, we're singing American English. And so we don't say an house, we say a house. And so I think to modify, yea, the sparrow hath found her a house, is more, even though we don't say half. I think if we drop that N, it's just fine. The other thing I'd like the tenors and basses to do specifically, look right here please, is to do that. So look right here for the cutoff. Your cutoff is right on beat 3. So that the women come in on beat 3, and you're going to cut off on beat 3. Yea, the sparrow. 18, please. 3, 4. That either are going to be dead or alive, but the word king has to have a k in front of it. It has to have a K. My king and my God. Okay, so let's concentrate on that. Secondly, let's go back to the bottom of page 4, friends. Altos and basses. Even thy altars, O Lord of hosts. 2-part music in the octave. Altos and basses making this happen. Even thy altars, if you would accompany the notes with the even 1, 2. Altos and basses, please. Altos and basses. 1, 2. Lord of hosts is at what dynamic? Forte! It can't all just be a bowl of oatmeal. It can't all just be one thing. It has to have contrast. Even Ready, and. 1, 2, ma. So if we're singing the word king and you're in the front row, it's a little bit dangerous territory because you're going to get maybe a little bit of hum on you. But not when you say, my king. Everybody said it. And. My king. Say, my king. And. My king. Good. Now, can we just not even say ing, just my. Ready? And. My king. Again? My. Oh, hi, Mike. Here we go. Even the altars. All together, please. Start a piano. Here we go. Right on the downbeat of 23. Saying softer, but that was great. I want everybody else to make that sort of ecstatic crescendo. Sit for a second while we stay focused, don't talk. Sit. Sopranos and tenors. Don't get the words mixed up. Shh, less said. Soprano tenor, 3, 4. Tenors, gotta make this happen. Ready? Soft piano. Yeah, and Sid couldn't be here. Sid had to be in Chicago today. It's blessed. Dwell in the I. Dwell in the I. Dwell in the I. Ready? 12. And. Good. So enough. That was enough of a sit down. Let's go on to the next section, poco più mosso, 35. Okay, we will form ourselves into a choir very soon, but you have to engage with me, okay? Come on, you can be right here, but when I give you the gesture to come in, add this dynamic. And what is this dynamic at the glorious? And what happened 2 bars before that at poco più mosso? Key change. We went from D flats to anybody?
D flat.
Very good. D flat major, right on poco più mosso forte. Yeah. Look. Prosper. Here we go. 41. Sopranos and tenors. Just nice and open. Here we go. 1. So downbeat and 1, 2. Now we're going to have the altos and basses do the same thing. Altos and basses. Prosper now. 1, 2. the end of our rehearsal time. We've just got to do this. Going on, please, O prosper thou. This is the downbeat of 45. Downbeat of 45. And what happens in measure 45? Another key change. To what key? E flat major. So. Oh, ready and react. Tenors and basses sing once from measure 50, from measure 49, and then we're going to take it from the top, okay? Measure 49, oh, alto, tenor, bass, no soprano, just, yes, alto, tenor, bass, 1, 2. So, sopranos. That's the sound that we're going to get for their fortissimo. So yours doesn't need to be so glastiola, okay? And that's a word we use in Chicago. Glastalicious is another one of the words. Okay. Oh, how amiable. From the top. Who's the composer? Ralph Vaughan Williams. Ralph also went by his friends by Rafe. Died in what year?
1988.
Who could raise their hand and tell me what country do you think Ralph Vaughan Williams was from? Yes, miss.
Germany.
That was a good guess. It's nearly correct. Anyone else? Yes, miss. Australia?
Austria.
Austria. Also a very good guess. We're getting close. Yes, miss. Also a very good guess. Not exactly correct. We're getting around it, though. Yes? Oh, well, a very good guess as well. Yes, miss. Oh, also a good guess. We're in Europe here. Yes. Oh, thank goodness, yes. He was an English composer. Ralph Vaughan Williams, English composer. Who is the author of this text? Who can raise their hand and tell me? Yes, sir. Isaac Watts, the great hymn writer. Isaac Watts. Isaac Watts. Hundreds of texts that we sing in the ending text, or rather up in ages past, maybe one of his most famous. He used two sources from the Bible to put this text together. What are those two sources? Who can tell me? Yes, sir.
Psalms 84 and 90.
Psalms 84 and 90. So let's make this our prayer this morning. That we say that your dwellings, God, are good, are amiable. Ami is French for friend, that they're friendly. That this land, this earth, this life we have is so good. And that you've been our help from before, and you'll be our help today, and you'll be our help tomorrow. Let's sing this as simply as it's our prayer. Okay? Take just a second.
Oh
All right, very well, thank you. Mr. Marco, thank you very much. And thank you all. Okay, and so now what we do is we get to the individual choir performances part of today. A couple of small rules apply. Just as if you would be hoping that people will listen to what you're going to be singing, I would ask that you listen carefully and show your appreciation for what people are singing today. So I'd actually like for you to stay in your sections here, and you'll go up here as your own choir. So when we come back at the end, we'll just be in our sections. You know,
Are you working with them on pieces or?
I am. I'm going to just hear a little bit of the rents.
Okay, so you want us to do both and then you'll?
Yeah, I'd like to hear, I'm not going to, I'd like you not to do the whole thing in this, but I'd like to just hear the contrasting piece. So just follow.
Just tell us what.
his intonation, text was just absolutely clear. I loved hearing you sing what you just did. It was really very exciting. Now, is this the whole ensemble?
We're missing one. This is our advanced choir, so our big choir has more voices.
Yeah. Which part are you missing?
Soprano line.
Yes, and that's, I was just going to say, that's the one thing. You know, oftentimes in music, that's three-part music. It's the first sopranos that are just riding high, and you're just like, and you just sing as loud as you can, and you just feel it, and the other parts often get lost in equal voice music. And it was just sort of the opposite in this case. I just felt like there was such a beautiful confidence in the lower voices that at times I felt like you could just sing with just a little bit more confidence. But the very fact that you're missing one, that would put all of the balance in the right way. Don't come away. I'd like to actually ask you to do a couple things. And let's start with that second piece. I think that, and what a lot of fun that is. The piece has three words in it: Gaudeamus, Hodie, Hallelujah. Tell me about the language or languages in this piece. What is one of the languages, ladies? Latin. What about Hallelujah? Is that Latin? Maybe. You know, it's one of those funny words whose origins come from a Jewish tradition, from the Hallel. And so what I want to get at here is I think we really have, and you got mostly, two different pronunciations. You have Gaudeamus, Hodie, and Hallelujah. And so you're always wanting to go back and forth between the pronunciation of the H or the not pronouncing the H. And I heard sometimes that there was a lot of Gaudeamus, Hodie, and I heard sometimes because you kept singing Hallelujah, Hallelujah, that you started to push the H. So that's one small thing that I think would be really terrific if you would make that distinction. Secondly, I think here you have a great opportunity not to sort of say, okay, I've started it, I'm going to wait for the singers to come in. I think these two bars sort of say, you know, you've got this little 8-note pattern. In bars 3 and 4, you have this opportunity to then maybe not conduct 4, but conduct 3 plus 3 plus 2. And just look right at...
Emily.
Say again, Emily?
Emily.
Oh, we're playing Emily. So if you're going to go 2, 4, emphasize there's some musical fire going on here. Okay, I'd love for you to do those two things. First, it's Hodie, not Hodie, and really the purity of the Latin is the thing that's important. It's easy. You want to kind of say Gaudeamus, but you want to keep Gaudeamus as much as you can. And this is a rhythm piece. It just goes so fast that you have to sort of do your best to kind of be a purity of the vol. But I would love to just hear you do the first page with you conducting bars 3 and 4 in 3 plus 3 plus 2.
Okay.
Just looking right at Emily and making this happen. Good. Good. And just see. And this is about all you're doing, but I just think if you set the tempo and then you sort of look down, you sort of undermine all of Emily's confidence. Just kind of, I shouldn't. So just look right at her and go, breathe and look right at her. Great, thank you. With rhythmic integrity. The thing about a piece with rhythmic integrity is that the entrances are all terrific, but the cutoffs are just as important. And so you can't sort of get to bar 8 and you kind of go, oh, I'm saying through that line, it's really great. That cutoff on measure 8 must be right on bar, right on B4, okay? And then we're going to go on to the middle section. But just, I'd love to see you do that beginning thing again for me. You know, I've been looking at the score, I had some notes, and I said, how are you going to start the piece? And I like very much, how are you going to start? No, it's how are you going to start the piece? So, veni domine. Language is what? And what are you saying in those two words? Well, actually, you're not. You're reading veni. When we sing veni Emmanuel, what are we saying? Come Emmanuel, veni. So what are you saying? Come, Lord. We're asking God to come and be with us. Veni domine, noli tardare. What does that mean? Don't be tardy. Don't have to go to the principal's office because you're tardy. Don't wait. Come now. You're asking God to come now. And there was a lot of beauty in what you sang, but I think that in that first page was just lovely. But I didn't always, and I love the shaping of it, but I didn't always get the sense. I didn't always get the sense that you were believing what you were singing. That you were just saying, oh, we love singing together, and we love each other, and it's just wonderful. But I didn't really get the sense you were imploring God to be with us in this place right now. And so I think sometimes you've got to put that in your mind when you are singing that. And it's all about the shape. I loved the shape of so much of what you did throughout this piece. So much so I was saying to myself, what am I going to say? Other than, I think the 6 of you, the 7 of you need to, the 8 of you need to acknowledge the 3 for sopranos and sing maybe just a little bit more sensitivity in your section. So you're not just saying, I got my part and I'm just going to sing with confidence. It's a sense of that you are this beautiful elite choir of young women who really listen to each other. So can I just ask that you open your ears and sing the first couple of pages with this sort of longing in your voice that you know what you're singing, that you're really pleading for God, and that the lower voices are listening to the upper voices who are singing with confidence. But I think I just scared you. So maybe somewhere in the middle of those two dynamics. I felt, did you hear the difference in their veni domine? It was a subtle difference, but I loved what you did. I just loved what you did. It just felt more longing. It felt really beautiful. Perfect. You really are. Well, this is where do I look here? Do I look up here? Very nice. Okay.
Beginning again, or
Yeah,
just
one
start
more
with
time.
the-
Actually, if you want to start to come up, then that's just
We'll start
fine.
at the measure. Mendelssohn set at revocati schersos with staggered entrances. Any idea? I'm sorry?
Like add more emphasis.
Add more emphasis, but you have to believe that a composer of Mendelssohn's stature did everything intentionally. What's the text he's setting? let's look at that word dispersos. What English word do we have that's similar to dispersos?
Dispersed.
Dispersed. And he's gathering those who are dispersed. And do you see what happened with the voices? The voices weren't all together. You weren't singing in unison. You were singing very different parts in very different ways. And how are they being gathered? You're not only singing then in unison at 42 with the veni, but you're singing the same notes in the same way. So all of a sudden, you're like the Greek chorus that's been gathered back together in your unit. We're all over the place, but then our cry to God is this beautiful veni, veni. Come Lord, come Lord. There's a lot of really lovely things about that. I love the balance. I love what you're singing with just a beautiful sense of the text as well. So, well done.
Thank you.
Very nice with that. Okay, next, we will be treated to the Highlands Concert Choir, please. Karen Ward, conductor. Let us welcome them. Is Mrs. Schmidt here? Thank you. Before you start, give me 1 second.
We're changing the order of our program, so we'll start with the Do You Hear the People Sing, and then on to River Sing Your Song, and then we'll end with Do You Have the Dale.
It is the future that they bring with tomorrow.
Notice about Mrs. Ward's conducting. There's one distinct thing about her conducting style. Anybody? Anybody who wasn't paying attention? What's distinctive about her conducting style? She conducts with which hand? Show me. Show me which hand. She conducts with her left hand, which is just fine. It's just, those are some of the things that I would like you young choral singers to be observant of. There were so many really wonderful things about this. Let's take this last piece, I think, is a great piece for your ensemble. I think the first piece, if I could just say, I think you sounded better in the last piece because you sort of say, I'm going to ignore them, because I felt in that first piece you were a little nervous singing up here. You felt like, and when you get nervous and you have to sing high notes, what happens to your throat? You get tension, it closes up. I liked very much that you were very specific in how you placed your singers on the risers, because I think sometimes you want to just get up here and just sort of put it all together and throw it up. And so I think that was great. I liked the sound, I liked the diction very much. I'd like to make about half a dozen suggestions, if you wouldn't mind, right from the get-go. And I want to talk about each piece. Let's just talk in the first piece. I'd like for you to think about if you're trying to see music, and so it's up a little bit higher, but then that makes your beat higher, and that makes their voice not wanting to breathe low into their bodies. So I'd love for you to see if you can move them just a little bit, and then conduct lower, and stand back a little bit. So force them to not just breathe these little breaths up here, but force them really to take great breaths. How many different languages in Jubilate Deo? How many languages are in that piece? 2? Okay, and what are the 2 languages? Latin and English, absolutely, perfect. Latin and English. What does the phrase Jubilate Deo mean? Simple. What is Deo? And Jubilate is praise. Praise God. You know, give God your jubilation. Exactly. It's all of those feelings. And you sounded like that when you sang it. You sounded like that when you sang it. I had to smile because there was so much confidence and I wasn't sure exactly who. But one of you just kept saying, no, I know how it goes. And it's Jubilate, Jubilate, Jubilate. And every time you had the whole other part was saying Jubilate, which is the correct pronunciation. Jubilate, not te, but te. One of you kept saying Ju. So let's make sure that everybody's pronouncing it correctly. Whoever was doing that, that's just fine. You were testing me to see if I could hear it, and I could. So I thank you for that. So that's great. If we go on to page 4, though, page 4, our composer, Spivak, let's call her Smith. She does 2 things. The dynamic gets a little bit softer and the rhythms get really much more interesting. And I just think that you need to do exactly the same thing. You get much more precise with your diction and your rhythm there. You know, it's sort of before this is sort of trumpet music, and it's just big and fun and fast and really alive and really joyful. But when we get to letter B, shh, thank you. When we get to letter B, it's got to be much less legato, much more marcato, much more precise, less gooey, more rhythmically interesting. So can we start at letter B, please? Here's your A. And just give 3, 4, and don't speak the text, just give 3, 4, and go to Tom, please. Mezzo forte, you've got to be ready to sing, okay?
Oh, the beat string.
Yeah. The words. Can you not say the words? Just you, okay?
That's the habit.
I know, it's a tough habit to break. If we look at that music, we see on latte, we see what kind of articulation? Staccati. We see staccatos. You latte, okay? So can you sing those very short there, right? Letter B. And I'll use my left hand too. I love that. It's a really wonderful look. Here we go. Say that for me. Everybody say from letter B, say the top line. 2, 3, 4. Say mezzo forte. Just speak that text. 3, 4. Yeah. But latte. Really short. 3, 4. Even shorter. 3, 4. So just really short. Soprano tenor, 3, 4. Even short, 3. Make even you short, 3, 4. So we've got this marcato phrase and we've got this legato phrase. And you want your phrase to be really short. Letter C, what do you see musically? That letter C, what's going on? He says crescendo poco a poco. And I didn't feel like that crescendo it gets bigger and bigger. You just sort of were big and it didn't really happen. But I think if you start that letter B a little bit softer, then you got somewhere to crescendo to. So what I want you to do right from letter B, very short and your legato, and then make that crescendo little by little, right from letter B, then please forward. Because you sort of felt it, that it's easier to crescendo when you're singing a long note, when you're singing that half note. So use those long notes to make that crescendo, so that you're really making that crescendo. Letter C, please. Here's our T. Letter C. Goodness gracious. Crescendo means again. Ready, 3, 4. Good. So that's what I want to say about that first piece. Now, if we could go into the Butler piece, River, Sing Your Song. We're going to just set the tempo, correct the measure, and trust the chief. Okay? I know it is, but I know that you are a fine musician, and she's a fine musician. I want to work on this. I just want to work that out. There's so much here to work on. So, ladies and gentlemen, your first choral entrance. How many different notes in the choir? How many different notes? Sopranos, what are you singing? Altos, what are you singing? Altos, what are you singing? Is that kind of, I'm not sure? It's C, yes, exactly, same note as the soprano. Gentlemen, what are you singing? C. C. One note, here's that little C. Would you sing? So the men are up the octave, and the women are down low. So you want to make sure it's all seamless. Ready? Look at Mr. French, please. You're going to breathe in on it. Ready? Ah. Gentlemen, ready? Just in that alone. Ah. Okay, about 3 notes there. Just just sing for me. Ah. There we go. Ready? Ah. Good. And women are going to take the men's sound out into this context. So you're going to just sing right into their sound, ladies. Use the ladies' note. Ah. Putting it together. 3, 4. That's a lovely. And you want that first note just to be so beautifully tuned, okay? You want to also think about the breathing here. So just with me, right on the river. 3, 4. Now, what's the rhythm? It's river. And you don't want to sing river, river. Open it up. 3, 4. River, sing your song for me. Good, thank you. Oh, I'm just going to do that first phrase. River, sing your song for me. The breath is going to be after the alto is singing. Because if you're all going to breathe when the altos are singing their note, the altos have a solo. We don't want that. River, sing your song for me. I can hear talking. Could you not talk, please? Thank you. River, 2, 3, all voices. Ah. River, sing your song for me. Good. So on the word me, who has the most interesting part? The altos. So let's make the altos just love that moment. Altos, river, ready, ah. River, sing your song for me. So on the word me, do exactly what you did. Embrace that note, bring it out, and then come back. River, arrow together, 3, 4. River, sing your song for me. Oh my goodness, there's some beautiful music there. Now, let's just think about river, sing your song for me. What are the most important words in that? River, sing, song, me. So can you make those words more important than the other words? 2, 3, River, sing your song for me. River by my cabin door. And that's the other thing that I want to say here. You sort of say to the choir that I know the composer says don't breathe here, but I've run out of air, so I'm going to breathe here because I just feel like I should breathe here. And even though my conductor did this beautiful gesture to say don't breathe here, I'm going to kind of ignore her too. I think this is what is showing you all of the musical things that you need in this piece, but you just need to believe it. So what happens in a section if you run out of breath? You have 2 options. You can take another breath or you can fall over dead. You can take another breath. But the trick here is to do what? So it doesn't sound like you're all taking a breath at the same time. Stagger your breathing. So this is the only last thing we're going to do, and then I'm going to say one thing about the his piece. At the word door, don't breathe. Breathe somewhere else. That's all I want to say. Breathe somewhere else. This is 2 bars before the voices come in. 3 and 4. Listen to the river theme. Listen how that river is just going down. Song for me. River by my cabin door, winding to the... And those are the kinds of things as music that you want to do. Now, altos, I think the altos were feeling it. I was like, oh, finally we got our moment. But this is not the melody. This is the melody. So remember that you're not always, you have some moments that you want to come out, but always you're harmonizing the melody. That was really lovely. About the Les Mis thing, I would just offer you this thing. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 sopranos maybe. Are you now putting in? Okay, so you've got the rest altos. We've got 2 tenors, and we've got 4 bass baritones, and that's just fine. Where it says bass solo, I liked very much what I heard, but I would not hesitate to have all of the men sing both the tenor part and the bass part. And I would also just be just a little cautious about some of the rhythms there. Some of them there was a little liberty. Good. I want to hear one thing for me. I want to hear measure 16 and 17. Measure 16 and 17. Would you do me a favor? Would you do me a favor and send a little love up here, send a little smile up here, send a little wave up here, saying, hey, we're supporting you. We're Measure 16. I want you to breathe, and I want you to feel, do you hear the people sing? I want you to go for it. I want you to know that they are supporting you and that they're loving you. And sopranos, you gotta be able to breathe and sing those notes. And all it takes is breath and opening nice and tall. Okay? Would you just give me about a bar and a half before measure 16, please? And make that happen. Sing with joy. Sing like you mean it. I'm not going to make it. Just do me a favor. Would you do this? Woo! Ready, yeah. Woo! Everybody, yeah. Woo! Raise your hand. Ready? Just toss it right up in there. Ready, yeah. Woo! Do you hear the people? Woo! Do that for me. Do you hear the people? Woo! Ready, yeah. Do you hear the people? Sing! Let's do one more time. Do it one more time. Don't be shy at that note. It's not high for soprano. It's only a G. Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank you.
First selection this morning will be the Lloyd Larson arrangement of the Five Across. Mr. Vogel, choir master, will conduct the second piece, the arrangement of which Irving and Bell will be introducing cuts. We're going to start verse 2 and 4 lines. To verse 3.
Just not the whole thing, that's all. The key changes now.
Just the beginning of the key change, dwells be often sung. Starting with verse 2. Our final selection this morning is The Spirit of the Living God by Daniel Iverson and Malcolm Colvin.
Spirit of the living God,
your conductors and to this choir, and good service. Very fun. Excellent. And I thank you for the lovely singing and the lovely direction. Let's just take it in the order that we just finished, with just this piece that you just worked with. Looking at page 5. Ladies and gentlemen, this unaccompanied section is really the meat of a chorus, but even more than that, it's the meat of a conductor, because all that's marked is just said expressively. And I want to commend Mr. Spadale for the way that you shaped and nuanced that whole section. You took it, they were right with you. It felt right from the heart. It didn't feel like, okay, there's plenty of time and you're just going to sing notes. I really felt like you believed what you were singing. I felt like you were really praying this music, and that to me is the highest of praises. I liked the shaping. One of the things I didn't like was when you sang, could I have a B natural, please? Show me, stir me. It was stirring out of my reverie of that beautiful note there. I think you have to work hard to turn that page so that no one hears what you're doing. I think I'm going to have to Xerox, which I got. So I liked that very much. I liked that very much. Just make sure that that's a nice little soft moment. Could we go back to bar 39, please? Move back to 39. That F major chord was beautiful, but it didn't lock in as beautifully as it could. Could we leave the sopranos out of this and just tune the tonic and the fifth there? So here's, and can I just hear you sing just on a kid? Okay, I think it should. That's those three parts. Good. How much? We'll just leave the altos out of this. No. It's that beautiful sort of medieval male sound, and it just sounds like this gentleman looking right here. Oh, right with me. Don't be late. Here, ah. Again, ah. Almost there. And the basses and tenors together. So if we put the altos with that, no. I'm sorry, I'm sure. But there we go. And so what we want to make sure is we want to make sure that you have the melody and you don't have the melody, but you're absolutely rock solid. That this beautiful foundation of support and intonation for the sopranos, so they can find the center of that A, because that A was kind of all over the place, okay? Because you were a little bit all over the place. Alto and bass, and. Well, you're late, right with me, please, ladies and gentlemen, and. Now, what's the dynamic here? It's not marked, is it? As Mr. Spadale indicated, because he certainly showed it. It was kind of like a mezzo piano, wasn't it? So right here, mezzo piano, all eyes right here, please. At all. There we go. Now we're going to find that A right in the midst of all of that. All together, please. At. So if you're singing mezzo piano, guess what you have to do? Thank you. Oh, for the sopranos, we have the melody, and it's beautiful, but you have to sort of understand that you are the tune, but you're still a part of all of this, right? Eyes right here, ladies and gentlemen. Ah. Oh, that's an intonation I could live with. Can we say that K together? Ah. Hold that for me, ready? Ah. Hum. Close your mouth. Boca chiusa. Ah. Can I ask that you put forte of energy into the sound, but piano of actual sound? So lots of energy, but not a little sound, right? Lots of air, forte of energy underneath that sound, but just mezzo piano, kid. chord tune. Beautiful. You go back to that first page. We go to bar 13, please. And if we think about the word spirit, ladies, and it's sopranos and altos together, what is the first vowel that you sing on? In, speed. And here's our A. Would you sing for me? Ah. Here's F. And then do, re, mi, re. Here's F. Into your song. Make your mouth all kind of open, that it's nice and high inside. That it's really taunted, so there's space there. Ready? Ah. Sound. Here we go. Ready? Ah. Good. Now let's put the SP right in front of it. 3, 4. Good. So that the I comes right on the beat. Speed. Ready? 3. Ah. Good. Because I think the men did a better job of tuning their phrase than the women did. Because you didn't start out right. Now that it's right there, could we? Sorry, ladies, it's the bitter truth of that moment. And sopranos and altos, sing as if you're one voice, okay? Mr. Spadali is showing some things and you're not exactly following everything he's doing. So I want to encourage you just to watch this more. To them. And if we say that A is this, up here is still in tune and down here is still in tune. But oftentimes what you were wavering in between that. Right now, you're really sinking right into the center. And because the piano is so in tune and you're singing right in the center of the pitch, it's such a satisfying thing. Mr. Spadali, can we switch off conductors now? And I'm sorry, sir, I didn't catch your name. Mr. Bowles. Very nice to see you. I would like you to take the end of the hill, please. End of where charity loves prevail. I like so much what I heard until we got to the end. And I liked your breathing. I liked your technique. I want to say one thing to the choir, and I want to see if this makes any difference to you. If you look on that last page and you count with me, measure 47, 48, 49, 50, measure 51. You see where measure 51 is? And then you see what comes after that? Let's call that measure 52, okay? Which is that white space there. The piece is not over until Mr. Vogel gets to bar 52. See if that affects the way that you sing this, the way that you stand. I saw a lot of things that were a little bit, not a little bit, were a lot distracting to me. So can you get a kind of a running start into this kind of last moment, because it really is quite nice. How about if you just take it from 37, please, with the key change into verse 5.
One bar before verse 5.
Thank you.
almost. There's still some movement. You should just be right here in the moment so that none of your body language distracts from Mr. Cali's beautiful ending of the piece. So it's not, I'm done singing, so the piece is over. That was much better. But you have to be just absolute statues, that you're still a part of the music, even though your voice is stopped. Very nice. I loved in bar 43, bar 44, that some of you cheated after Christ and took a breath to really prepare for that. It just made perfect sense to me. Could you do me a favor in 47? Follow Mr. Vogel. He showed no breath in 47. You said, no, we're dying. We're going to take a breath. And so I'd love for you not to breathe in 47.
Thank you.
Mr. Vogel. That is really good stuff. Yes, because it really sets up that nice. Okay, so could you do that one more time for me? And the last thing I want to say here is that those ST of midst and the N of sun, they go on the downbeat, not sort of on the downbeat or near the downbeat, it's right on the downbeat. In our midst. So the T goes right on the downbeat. That will give a little percussive sense to the downbeat of what Mr. Caparelli is playing. And so, and the same thing on son, so that you are finishing your line right in the downbeat, not sort of it. And it feels like it's sort of there. And so I'm sort of getting a sense of where your cutoff is. Make it precise. Please, one more time.
On bar before first line.
And now, I've been very nice to all the accomplices today, and you were terrific, and you're not. I want you to watch what he just did, because I changed something, okay? So follow exactly. Here we go.
After join.
Let's just weak here. This is the third beat of our 46. Third beat, and I realize it's in the middle of the phrase.
Last line. We are 1, 2.
What were those last two words that you heard? I'm sorry? I heard name one. I heard name one. So that's something to work on for next time. Beautiful, beautiful. Can we look at just really quickly at with type cross, please? And I'm going to make kind of a silly statement that sometimes there's a tendency that when you're speaking lines of text to take a breath in the wrong places. And I think that is, and that was my only, I didn't know this arrangement of Look Back Across, but I like it very much. Sometimes I felt like you took your breath in the wrong place. To all the adore His sacred name. Whereas I think to all the world adore His sacred name is the text that you're singing. Singers sing words. We got to have words unless it's a vocalese. And if you're not singing what the text says, you're chopping it up and you're giving this beautiful Kitchen and Newbolt text short shrift. Mr. Spedale offered you places not to breathe. I'd like for you to do that. So I'd like for you just to pick it up, please, to bar 14, please. Pick it up to bar 14, and then we're going to stop on the downbeat of 18. put a fermata on that E minor triad on the word come.
You can start after the beginning, right? So that have marked the chord left. And after the 18 on the first chord, stop. Hold it up, hold it in place. Wow. 3 I. You come in on P4. 3 I. 1, 3.
What word did they just sing? What word did they really just sing? Just heard the word Christian, aloe. Okay, good. And I don't know if good. So let's go to the, can I have that E minor triad on the word come? Can I just have C, D, and E? Bass and tenor, like we did with that F major chord. Can I just hear come, right? Tenor bass, looking right here, please. Come. That's very nice. We add the alto to that. But the vowel, as you know, looking up here is Come. It's just come. We're not saying the word come, we're just saying the word come. And it's nice and tall, as if you're ready to bite into a juicy red apple. Come, ready, alto bass, looking right here. Come. Good, now what's our dynamic? That's a piano, sopranos. Piano. 2 together. Come, 3. Now if you look at the mouths of these very beautiful young ladies, you see this. This is what I see. If you look in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth tonight and you say the word you're going to say You want to have a nice, show me just ready, Don't sing anything, just go and hold it, ready, Open your mouth just a little bit, I know you don't want to open your mouth because you're in high school, that's okay. Ready, soprano singing now, Looking right here, please. Get this part from tenor bass. And alto tenor bass. Now do that section now. Till all the world adores your sacred name, and it's just all page 3 there, okay? I think if you get that first chord tune, the rest of it just locks in step. And that's what I would say, after the word follow. Once you do come Christians follow, and then you're going to be done. There's no breath after follow. Come Christians follow where our Savior trod. It's one sentence, one phrase. Here's our E minor triad.
Come Christians follow where our Savior trod.
Very nice. Lovely, lovely. Let us thank them. Our seats, young ladies and gentlemen, and get out Hostler, Cantate Domino, please. Okay, friends, here is our time frame. The French got talking a little bit too much. We are 20 minutes. I would like to take 10 minutes and do Cantate Domino. This is a great, great, great piece. Hans Leo Hostler comes from what country? Raise your hand, please. Hans Leo Hostler, raise your hand if you know, please. And, yes, sir. Deutschland, yeah. And what century did he live in? Centuries plural. Raise your hand, yes, sir. 16th and 17th century, so that puts him in the Baroque or the Renaissance? Okay, absolutely, very fine. He was a Titan. What language is this in? Raise your hand, please, and tell me. Don't just shout it out. Please raise your hand. Yes, miss. Latin, cantate domino. Is there another language in this at any point in the piece? The answer is no, it's Latin. Where does this text come from? It would be raise your hand and then yes, sir, in red. Psalm 95, absolutely, specifically verses 1 through 3. And what are we saying when we sing cantate domino canticum novum? College is coming soon. It's not like raise your hand, I will call on you, then you answer. Yes, miss?
Is it sing to the Lord a new song?
Say it with confidence.
Sing to the Lord a new song.
Absolutely perfect. Absolutely. Cantate, sing, domino, to God, canticum novum, a new song. Omnis terra. Who's going to sing the Lord a new song? Omnis terra. Who? Raise your hand, my young friends. Oh, you already answered. Yes, miss?
All the world.
All the land, all the earth. Terra is land, earth, all the world. And then we go and go. And benedicite nomine eius. And benedicite nomine eius. My young Latin scholars, we cannot sing a Latin text if we don't know it. We can't sing a French text or a German text because it's just syllables then. We have to know what we're singing. And bless his name. Et benedicite eius, nomine eius. Nomine is name, benedicite is blessed. And bless his name. Annunciate. What does that word sound like? Announce. And if you think about it, you've practiced it in part 23, it's like trombones and trumpets, announcing. Annunciate, de die in diem, from day to day. Salutari eius, annunciate. Inter gentes gloria, to all people, the glory of God. In omnibus populis mirabilis, to all peoples, his marvelous deeds. And that's where we are. Cantate domino. Speak the text for me. So, here's the deal with these chairs. They're great for watching a movie. They're horrible for singing. You're relaxed. Your diaphragm is squished. I want you to do exactly what this young lady in the white sweater did. She got forward on her chair. She sat tall. And yet give yourself a chance to breathe. And you're going to hold your music up and you're going to look at me, please. And I'm going to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to speak the text in rhythm, very clean and a very clipped mezzo piano. 1, 2, come. Cantate domino canticum novum. Cantate domino. Okay, this is not so good. Right with me, I'll use the magic pencil. I'm going to beat a tempo. I'm going to beat it in 4, but right now we're going to dance in 2 when we do this. Cantate domino cantate. T-E-H, not T-A-Y. Cantate do. 1, 2, sing. Cantate do. Okay, now here's the other thing. If you say it like you're low on the chords, it's really hard on the voice. It's like smoking a cigarette. Cantate. So I want you to up in your head voice, boys and ladies. I want you higher in the voice. A little bit louder. Sit tall, sit forward. 2, 3, come. Cantate domino canticum novum. Cantate domino canticum. 2, 3, alto. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, no. Et benes in 1. 1, 2, 3. Et benedicite domine. Good. Hi. Can you do me a favor if you're looking at your music in your lap? That's not helping me. Because you can't see me. We have to communicate. Hold your music up and look at my very, very handsome face. Here we go. Et benedicite domine. 1, 2, 3. teeth in, you release. A-use. Ready? This is measure 17. A-use. 1, 2, 3. A-use. And then T. Annuncia. Annuncia. Thank you. Okay. Measure 8, please. Measure 8. Measure 8. Altos, where are you? Thank you. Altos alone, please. Here, C. I don't want you to sing. This is what I want. I want you to make those short. Sit tall, y'all. Here we go. 2, like this. 2, 3, 4, 1. So listen very carefully. Here we go. 3, 4, 1. Oh, you're not ready. You're not ready, are you? Oh, you're running like this. 2, 3, yeah. Good. Remember we said T-E is not T-A-Y, it's T-E-H. Okay. C-plus. Bases. Bases. 1, 2, 3. So can I get you to sing it like you really mean it? I'm going to sing to the Lord an old weary, tired song. Or I'm going to sing to the Lord a new song. Ready? 3, 2, 3. Alto, show them the articulation I asked you to do. 2, so. Basically, would you do the same thing? 2, 3. Thank you. Altos, then the basses. Altos start and the basses come in 2 beats later. Altos, 3, 4, 1. But if you're not looking at your knees and not up at my pretty face, we're not going to do this. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yes. Now, if I can sprinkle you with a little bit of confidence, same thing. 3, 4, 1. Until you look at me and you come in at the right time. 3, 4, 1. Oh, watch the cutoff, okay? Thank you. Lovely. Tenors, please. Tenors, 2, 3, 4, 1. Sing with the tenors or the basses, I would welcome that. Okay, so if you want to just sprinkle yourself in here. Tenors, that was good. Now I'm going to ask you to do exactly what the basses did before. Basses, here's the articulation now that it's ingrained in your head. 3, 2, 3. Now here's the bass part. 3, 3, 2, 1. So tenors, can you do it nice and short? Tenors, and if you're a tenor and you want to come down here, I would love for you to actually sit in this area. 3, 2, 1. Good. Look at the tenor part. Put your finger, everybody, in bar 12. I'm going to ask you just really kindly to be here because we actually have 10 minutes left. Every time you see 16th notes, they have to be short. And the note before the 16th note has to basically be absolutely short. Here we go. Last time, tenors. 3, 4, 1. Soprano. 3, 2, 3. I like very much the articulation until we get to bar 12 on the word te. We want to make the te very short. We want to crescendo to the F sharp and then back away from it. So it's not just singing vanilla lines. You shape each one of your lines, and this is what polyphony is. Every line is unto itself important, but it can't just be sung this way. It has to be sung like this in the shaping. 3, 2, 3. Everybody crescendos, not just some people who understood what that meant. Sit up, sit tall, here we go, tenors, then altos, tenors and sopranos. 3, tenor, and 1. 1, 2, 3. But it's not a half note, is it? Because you're going to have a breath in there. So it's do, mi, no, et, d, and then we're going to go faster. Okay, here we go. Altos, basses, tenors, soprano. Sit tall, please. 3, 2, 1. Domino. Have you got pencils with you or not? So put a breath mark there and look up this gentleman who has very little hair. Okay, here we go. Good. One more time. Alto, bass, tenor, soprano, without the piano. Got it? Alto, sing tall. 3, 4. I love this. I just want to sing this note forever, and you're my best friend. But that's not what this is about. Do, mi, no, and then we're off because we're going to bless his name, okay? You can't bless his name if you're singing, holding the word God forever. Here we go. Right from the top, please. Cantate domino. Bass. Tenor. Soprano, tenor, bass. No alto. Sing ka. Ah. Tuning note, that alto note, that's the third of the chord. Alto, tenor, soprano, bass. Less important, more important. Ready? 3. A little bit more. The first word is not ah. 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Same thing. Now, when you go into 3, supposed to sing one thing and one thing only. The most important beat in that bar is the downbeat. Chom, chom, chom. It's a dance. Tenors and basses, so. Thank you, and at Annunziate, I'm going to slow down. Here we go. Sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses. Tomo e benedicite. 1, 2, 3. This is the hardest thing we're going to sing all day today. So just the bass line, please. Thank you. And 1. Good. One more time, basses. Just with confidence. You're announcing like trombones and trumpets. And 1. 1, 2, 1, 2. So just keep going, okay? Don't stop, don't get frustrated, do some announcing. And 1. Oh, Tage, very short. And we're just right up. Once again, 1, and so. 3, 4, 1. Annunziate, gentlemen, and 1. Ladies. Well, let's go right to 37, please. Right to 37 in omnibus. Forget the words, just sing unto. Please, would you stand for me, please? I know you're tired, so standing will help get some air into the beautiful lungs of yours. Here we go, 37. Toe. 3, 4, 1. Thank you. Ladies alone, please. Here's G and C. Ladies, 3, 4, 1. Thank you. We're on toe altos. Here we go. And altos, you've got that beautiful moment in measure 40. Measure 40. I know you're tired, so stay with me. In measure 40, you've got that make a crescendo right to that F sharp, okay? Sing that for me, and 1. Good, making that crescendo to the F sharp. Here we go. Unto in omnibus, sopranos and altos. Sopranos and altos. 3, 4, toe. I'm sorry, we're going to be 15 minutes over. I apologize. Here we go. Measure 41, E and G. Toe, T-O-H, 3, 4, 1. Alto. Alto's got to sing with confidence. You've got E's and G's. That's all you have. 3, 4, toe. In omnibus. Toe, show them how it goes, gentlemen. 3, 4, 1. God bless you all. Absolutely wonderful day. Sopranos and altos, please come off carefully.
Thank Mr. Chairman.